Hello there, American people, and I'm Rachel Wright coming to you again with another yet disturbing and surprising, very surprising headline from the American government. This is now the time for small communities to come together. We as the American people should be for the American people. We should not pose all of our will to the politicians who run this country or who we voted into this country. We go about our daily lives expecting them to live with integrity and making the best decisions because we feel as though we know them by the limited track records that we see within our states. However, it's not going so well. We should start to build smaller communities of farming, not just surrounding counties of farming or in rural towns. We within the city and right outside of the city limits should start planting gardens. We should start bartering with each other. We should become each other's strength. We should create local jobs, investing in one another, putting our money together and not willing all of our will into the government to come bail us out of anything or loan us any loans for jobs. Right now, we're heading for a very stormy forecast, a looming food crisis amidst a government shutdown, which is using an excuse to withhold food from families. However, there is a $6 billion surplus in case of that emergency. So that has nothing to do with managing the costs and the debt ceiling of shutting the government down during the government shutdown. I urge all of us to stock up on food items, stock up on goods, while you can, because this is getting ready to be a bumpy ride. We don't know how long the government shutdown will be for, and day by day play waiting on the government or the Supreme Court judge to force a government who's literally like pushing those people out of the way and not caring about anything they're saying to release funds to, or should I say, food assistance funds through the SNAP program, which is aka food stamps now digitally on cards for people who qualify low income qualify for the low income programs. They are literally hanging the American people's lives in the balance. And I'm going to share a few things with you. Over 42 million people or more over 42 million people and more than 22 million households relied on SNAP food stamps during the fiscal year of 2025. Largest age group of adults relying on these benefits are between the ages of 18 and 59. Also, of that recipient data, 39% of the children account for those recipients. The government shutdown took place October 1st of this year, 2025. As a result, the White House chose to withhold food stamps amongst many other government programs, like they're debating should they withhold Medicaid, if they should roll out SSI this month or disability. They also have government workers working and not getting paid, but the downside is if they decide they don't want to work while not getting paid, their job can be affected, putting them pretty much a catch-22. As reported October 28, 2025, USPS laid off 48,000 employees. Amazon cut jobs of 14,000 employees. October 2027, General Motors with 200 salary employees at their Michigan Tech campus. October 2025, Target laid off around 1,000 people. Applied Material lays off 4% of its workforce, or 1,444, and the ConocoPhillips is expected to lay off 25% of Canada's employees. The companies that I name are just to name a few. Therefore, if these haven't been, therefore, if you haven't been saving money already, you won't be able to even qualify for food stamps if you wanted to temporarily get the food stamps until you decide what you want to do. If you are a federal employee that's going to have your money reinstated back to you as in back pay, or even if you'll still have your job if you decide to work, or if you just have been laid off and you just need a cushion until you find something else. With the indefinite shutdown and their play-by-play at the White House, who knows when you know, people will be able to even receive food stamps. So it's bigger than just families who are already on food stamps. People should stop discriminating and saying, well, everybody should go back to work. You can't go back to work. The job market is volatile. How can you go back to work? Or people should just get a job. Once again, amidst a volatile job market, anybody can get a job, right, and just work their way and feed their families. But how can you feed your family if you can't get a job with all the layoffs? Sounds really simple, right? Until you're in the situation, until you see the numbers and what the corporations are doing, and they're being allowed to do it, and backed by billionaires and the government. Since Donald Trump has been in the office, there has been job layoffs and political uproar. He has created a trade war for domestic trade, foreign trade, export, import. And a lot of that has affected a lot of our agricultural needs. It's bigger than just aluminum, wood, furniture, and clothes, whichever. We all need clothes. We need food, clothing, water, and shelter, the basic needs. But when the agricultural needs are not met, that means there's also a food shortage. So while they are dragging out a government shutdown, they're not letting you, they're not letting you know that there are numbers to be paid attention to during the trade war, when other companies fight back and they increase tariffs, and the companies here on American soil say, hey, we're not buying it. We can't afford to buy those products because we're not going to make no consumer is going to buy that. We would have to increase our prices in order to pay for the product, make the product, and to potentially gain $1 off the product to stay in operation. Who's going to buy this product? So this trade war is really crippling our economy. It's not just affecting foreign affairs, it's affecting domestic affairs. This also is allowing the gross domestic product to reduce. Another report from Google continues to say that there are retaliatory tariffs. These retaliatory tariffs would affect the food supply. For instance, China, the retaliatory tariffs of 10 to 15% on U.S. agricultural products like soybeans, pork, or wheat, as reported by Opinion Global. Another report from Opinion Global, Canada has reported that they will increase a 25% of tariffs on many U.S. food and beverage products, such as orange juice, peanut butter, wine, coffee, and that's just to name a few from Canada. And peanut butter is not just something, a regular snack. It offers protein. It's actually an essential product. It's bigger than just wine. Some people drink a lot of orange juice for vitamin C to prevent colds, and just many other things. I mean, there's so many things you can do with oranges and orange juice and peanut butter. They also offer peanut butter through WIC programs for those low-income families who receive WIC for up to the age of 5 years old, for like the canned milk for the babies, the simple necessities that they expect you to have in the house: bread, milk, and juice, and peanut butter, which is a protein, which a protein is an essential amino acid, which is a building block of your DNA. So peanut butter is not just a regular food. It's also needed in low-income houses if people don't have peanut allergies. So that's something to consider. Mexico, a big U.S. export market. Their U.S. export market consists of corn, wheat, and pork. Lastly, the European Union, and we know Europe does not consist of one small town. Europe consists of many countries. The European Union announced retaliatory tariffs on various U.S. products in response to the trade issues, which include meat, other agricultural products. In the midst of trade war, the forecast for a looming crisis, the Democrats won't agree to a tremendous rise in costs of hair care. Therefore, the Republicans' response is to make the American people starve. This is not about saving the debt ceiling. This is about making people fold under pressure for what their outcomes is. This is what you call America making great again. Is quite actually a joke. Food shortages will begin. There is a lack of resources from other countries. Meanwhile, families won't be able to put food on the table today, let alone prepare for a future famine, which is imminent. So, I'm suggesting that we really do invest in one another in America, people. Pull out of these American companies and invest in one another and stop putting faith within these political powers. There were those who, once again, say get a job. You can't get a job with a crashing economy. I say that to say this. We need to vote bureaucracy out and vote humanity in. Let's stick together. Let's make America great again on our own. We need to study an extensive track record of integrity and voting these people out immediately and invest in our own. Now is the time to pull out of the market and invest within each other because we're going to need it. There is a looming food crisis coming. So even if they reinstate the food stamps, what are we all to do? They have us in an uproar watching them while they're making plans behind the scene that affects us as a whole. Let's stick together, people. Let's stop looking at the rhetoric and start buying here at home and voting the bureaucracy out.